to the Brewery Hockey Astro at SACS in Cape Town. It's Zayed Adams here with Pierre Leroux for the SACS under 15A versus the Wynberg under 16B. We've just seen a fantastic game, the home team really dominating a juggernaut under SACS under 14A side, defeating their arch rivals 8-1. Pierre, you must be happy with that result.
No, a very good start. A bit of a scrappy game, but like we said, the fact that they're playing hockey is the most important part here. I know both those teams are missing players that are isolating due to COVID, and so even this morning the Wynberg coaches and SACS coaches were running around to make sure they had full teams, that the boys weren't in forced isolation somewhere. So just having people play is fantastic.
I do know that this is the Wynberg's first encounter. They've been stuck in the sheds. That's the captain, Yasin Moos, there in the orange boots. He's quite keen to get going. They've been it's Founders Week actually at Wynberg this week, so lots to play for the Wynberg boys at SACS. They've been haven't had much sport, unfortunately. SACS have the benefit of having played a couple of games. Fairmont 2 weeks ago, and last week the big derby against Rondebosch. So it'll be interesting to see how this Wynberg side comes, how they come out, if they're still stuck in the classroom or whether they're ready to run out in the park.
No, so Wynberg had their game against Bishops last week. That's where they played, yes. So they've had the last week matches, but like I said before, I know the Wynberg teams have been decimated by players having to isolate with contacts. This SACS team having a really good game last week against Rondebosch. The under 15 side is always the interesting team because it's your first year out of under 14, and some of the good players in the under 15 team play for the under 16 team. So you have a bit of a mix and match of who's in these teams, as you see the SACS boys lined up in their traditional white kit with hoop socks.
Yeah, that hoop socks, really a throwback days. Apparently, Pierre, you explained that to me. That was the original socks of SACS, way back when.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. I mean, the original socks, and then of course Western Province Hockey started playing in them as well, and there was a bit of confusion about whether it was a provincial or a school sock. But SACS putting their foot down and saying, no, it's their sock, they want to play in it. So at the moment we've got the provincial team and the school team playing the hoop socks, but I see around the country there was a match between Jeppe and Pretoria boys 2 nights ago, where also the hoop socks are very popular, the Jeppe boys playing in their hoop socks as well.
It was really exciting to see that the boys up country also getting some action. We know that they've also been stuck indoors, and really great switching on the Channel 247 and seeing some hockey. So that's what we're bringing you live from the Newlands Brewery Astro. It's a chilly afternoon in Cape Town, and SACS looking to take the initiative early on here.
Yeah, these games always start off a bit cagey where the teams try and suss each other out unless somebody really goes on the attack. But at the moment, a little bit scrappy. SACS camping quite close to the Wynberg circle. Nick Paxton holding the ball on the sideline there, but not really going anywhere.
This is arguably one of the biggest derbies in the country. The two oldest schools in the country going head to head, and that's Wynberg trying to get onto the long ball, but unfortunately the line beats him out. That's Benny Jansen there doing the chase, a very good under 15 cricketer as well. Him just putting in the yards there, trying to get the legs up and going.
Good steal there from Wynberg, trying to find the circle entry. That's Kevin Oosthuizen just coming away with the ball, making sure that the pressure's relieved and he slaps the ball down the field. I'm not sure if anybody's there. No. Straight to a Wynberg player and the midfield hack. We hear lots of cracking of the sticks there and carbon bits flying all over the place as they were hitting each other while trying to hit the ball. Wynberg just not finding the clean circle entry there, with SACS throwing some sticks in the way. Yeah, Zahir, what a lovely day we're having right now, although last night and I believe later the cold front's going to keep coming. So this patch of weather we have has been perfect for these boys. Not having to play in the rain.
No, definitely. I think they need to take full advantage. I think the first team game tonight, that might be a bitterly cold affair, and hopefully the hockey heats us up. But Winters really hasn't decided to go away in Cape Town. Freezing out there for both these teams, but I'm sure the boys, they won't mind. They just want to get out there and get out on the park. It's a big diagonal ball. from the SACS defender, unfortunately not finding his right half. Wynberg begin the attack again.
Wynberg just trying to keep possession and find a way through here. Unfortunately, just hit the foot there. So SACS Paxton gets a quick break here, trying to get down the field. Pass not too clean. Matthew Jones on the ball, trying to get himself in the circle. He's on the edge. We've got a clean ball to Paxton, who tries to get the shot off and tamed a blow. I don't think he actually shot there. I think he saved the ball from going into the net. He won't be happy with that deflection.
Wynberg looking to start an attack. Always traditionally Wynberg going through the right channel, going all across the field and down the right. And that's exactly where the centre half looks again. Plays it out into the middle.
Good ball out to the middle, just to kind of relieve pressure, but SACS waiting for them.
There's good skill by the centre link of Wynberg. Battling hard.
And the game just not getting going as the teams try and suss out where they want to go and try and complete some passes. But scrappy at the moment with the ball not finding 2 or 3 passes. We always say in hockey, if you can find 2 or 3 passes, those 2 or 3 passes seem to find 5, 6, 7, 8. And of course, once you make that many passes, I think Pep Guardiola will tell you the ball does end up in the back of the net.
Pep Guardiola, is he going to make the big signing? Is Cristiano Ronaldo coming to Man City? He missed out on Harry Kane last week.
Yeah.
So he's keeping busy, isn't he? But this is schoolboy hockey, the 2 fierce rivals out in the southern suburbs.
I was saying in the under 14 game, these 2 schools have been playing each other for donkey's years at all sports, but the hockey fixture also has been going for many, many, many years. And the nice thing about these derby fixtures, they play each other so often that the boys really get to know each other. And so they might be from different schools, but they become really good friends off the field. And then, of course, when they start playing provincial hockey together or they're hanging out afterwards, they're very good mates, even though they don't have to be in the same classroom at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, I can definitely tell you, having been schooled up just down the road at Wynberg, playing SACS was always the biggest occasion of the year. I don't know about the friends part during the game, though, but definitely definitely after the match, it was good to catch up with your mates. But it's always quite intense. Right down on the park. I remember some heated derbies played down at the Vineyard still back in the old days. So yeah, definitely a game that you always look forward to.
No, and also I think if you ask any schoolboy between these 2 teams, they could probably tell you when they're in matric how many times they've won and how many times they've lost over the last 5 years. Everybody seems to keep a record of it.
I think I can gladly say I've never lost to the hooped Sox in my life. I've fortunately been a very strong Wynberg era. So these Wynbergians they've got something to look forward to tonight.
Yes, no, I mean Wynberg hockey over the last couple of decades has been really strong. A whole lot of people that have been involved in that, from Keith Richardson then into the Paul Revington era where he was the director of hockey there, and now of course Devin Stanton is at the reins as director of hockey and coaching the teams.
Really, it's both schools. It's really been impressive to actually be, and probably an accolade to yourself for the way the SACS has strengthened their hockey over the years. You look throughout their age groups. We saw last week against Rondebosch really dominating until that basically the under 19 age group, which was a thriller in the second side, and then the first team was an absolute crackerjack. I don't know if you've gotten over being up 3-0 and then having to share the spoils here.
Like we said, there was a real fantastic game last week. And also the thing about the different eras of people coming through the sport. SACS deciding 6-7 years ago to put a bit of effort into their hockey coaching. And the dividends now are evident. The coaching structure has been improved. Some important coaches have come in and lent a hand. Greg Clark was there for a long time. We've had coaches come in. Brinsley Powell's been involved. Kurt Siffontaine's been involved. But just adding those dimensions to players and helping them grow their game, we just see the dividends of putting that effort into the coaching. And again, like I have to give credit to Wynberg. Wynberg is what pushed us to go there.
There's a circle entry for Wynberg. SACS goalkeeper makes a good save there, and possibly the first real chance of the game. That's Isa picking up the ball there in the white boots. Gets the circle entry, and it's a deflection, and it goes just wide for Wynberg.
Definite chance there. That was right in front of the keeper.
That's Isa in the white boots, collecting the ball after losing it and throwing a big ball into the circle, getting the deflection, but going just wide of the goalkeeper.
I think the goalkeeper Slates, it's his first game for this team, being called up because the current goalkeeper is isolating, as you have the story so many times. Coming out and kicking the ball there, but that was a real good opportunity. Wynberg will be upset that they couldn't get that back in the net.
That's Isa Milden on the ball again in the middle. Wins the free hit for Wynberg. Throws the big ball in. That's Yasin Moas on the back stick, but it goes over the goals. Looks like he injured a SACS player in the process, but Wynberg looking to be taking the advantage here early on in this first chukker. Fortunately, the young SACS man gets up and he's ready to go again.
Yeah, but he's sticking in the way there, but caught the follow through, which happens when you defend inside the circle. And SACS now turning on the afterburners to get into the circle. And Matthew Jones pushing the ball onto the Wynberg foot there to earn himself a short corner. I think it's the first short corner of the match.
That is definitely the first short corner of the match. As we've seen over the last fortnight, SACS really clinical with their short corners. The first team particularly having an ace there in the skipper who has put it away, and it just filters down to all the other teams.
Yeah, SACS do spend some time with their drag flickers, just working on them. So at all different age groups, the people are getting some training. It is a specialist thing that you learn, and as your body grows as well, you also unlearn it. It's amazing how you can be a flicker, and then as you get taller, somehow you lose it. As we've got Kevin Oosthuizen on the drag flick here, slipping it to David Firstfeld, who's in front of the goal, and David Firstfeld with a slip flick. Oh, David.
That is what Supersport Schools is all about, a bit of a celebration there. We spoke earlier about Cristiano Ronaldo going to Man City, and the young man pulls out a great celebration. That's SACS taking the early lead. They have shown how good they are with their short corners. A little slip to the left, and Wynberg goalkeeper was exposed, and that's the home team in the lead 1-0, but this is Wynberg coming back through Isa Hamildin.
Yes, a really good push through there, but just getting stopped on the 22 as they put the block in as they go away. I think the first short corner of the game. As SACS just can't control the ball going forward. Dan Stensländer just getting the ball under his feet. Dan Stensländer just come from the Eastern Cape. He actually was, I think he went to Selborne up until the end of last year, and the parents have made the move to the, I'm going to say the sunny Cape, but that's the delusion you've got on the screen right now. It's a lovely sunny day for you, but anybody who lives in Cape Town knows that we're in the middle of a cold front, so that's a false hope we have there. SACS just keeping possession, little 1-2 passes here, trying to find each other. Quinn Baltimore and Nick Paxton have been in a 1-2 game there, but just the ball going loose at the end, and they couldn't capitalize on a little passing game that set up quite nicely there.
There's a lot of carbon fiber colliding in this game, quite a physical encounter.
We often find in hockey when somebody holds the ball for a little too long and then runs right up to somebody, the result is the clanging of sticks and the hacking that happens from there. If you play hockey in Holland and you do that, they kick you off the park straight away. It's quite a big thing in Dutch hockey not to take the ball into a contact zone, to keep it away from the position as much as possible. Of course, at under 15 level, that's not avoidable.
I think Wynberg possibly just needing to put a few passes together. Lots of individual skill at the moment, not finding the collective, and that's possibly from not having played that much together over the last period. And we'll be looking maybe just to find some width on the park.
They just can't string some passes together, and once that happens, you see the game starts flowing.
That's a free hit for Wynberg. They will have the opportunity to clear their lines. Good defending by SACS there. A little bit more carbon fiber clattering into each other. Yasin Moos, the Wynberg captain, quite competitive there on the right wing.
Getting in the way, and a great, I was going to say great tackle. He just didn't come away with it. As we see the ball being trapped in between players here all over the place. The goal scorer, David Firstfeld, eventually coming away with it, but again can't find the through ball to Nick Paxton, who was in the wrong space over there. Oh, quick free hit, that's very clever. Trying to get himself in across the face of the goal, and Tane de Blow on the far post. I think that actually was Tane de Blow with a headband who scored that. Matthew Jones arrived a bit late and just missed it, but luckily he had some backup at the back there. Just to tap the ball into the open goal. But I think something happened on the sideline there, because SACS seemed to take in the quick free hit and ran freely into the circle, and Wynberg weren't there to defend it. I think Wynberg might have thought that was their hit on the sideline, and in the confusion, SACS capitalize and go 2-love up.
I think that's what you want to see of these young men, showing the initiative and grasping the opportunity, and really catching Wynberg a little bit napping on that occasion, and calmly slotting in the second goal. It's going to be, and that was shortly before the end of the first chukker. We're playing chukkers or we're playing halves?
At the 15s, I think we play halves. Actually, I don't know. And the 14s played halves. And the 15, I'm not actually sure. As SACS get another attack, and Matthew Jones somehow finds a way not to score a goal. A slap in front of goals, and he just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. SACS just up here because they're keeping Wynberg from leaving this territory. If Wynberg can find a way to get the ball down the field, they'd be in the business, but SACS just putting maximum pressure on here the whole time.
Oh, there Wynberg have an opportunity. They've Benny Hansen into the circle. He's going to have a shot.
Good pace. Goalkeeper Slate to get in the way, but I think he kicked it straight into the SACS defender. Kevin Rosa couldn't get out the way there, and the result is a short corner to Wynberg.
This is Wynberg's first opportunity to have a crack at the SACS goal. We've seen how clinical SACS could be when they had the opportunity. What has Wynberg got up their sleeve? It looks like they're hanging around. They're not quite sure what they're going to do right now. Benny Hansen looking a little bit confused there on the castle.
Instructions coming from the bench, but it's clear there's only one option going to happen here.
It's definitely going to be Benny Hansen having a slap, but they don't stop it. Cleanly.
SACS come away with the ball and immediately send the ball downfield for the counter attack. As the ball goes, Matthew Jones across.
It was all just a little bit confusing there by Wynberg. They weren't sure what they wanted to do, and when they eventually needed to do it, they never did it. So SACS had an opportunity, but they managed to get out of jail, Wynberg. And it's back in the midfield, starting from the back. Wynberg going big ball across the right, just slipping on the AstroTurf on that occasion. But gets up, recovers well, looks to make the pass.
Just lost control.
Got to get back now and defend.
Stenslin's passing the ball across to Paxton. He's just trying to fire. He's got an entry. What's he going to do with it? Maximum pressure. I think the umpire, yes, I think he might have got some help from the other umpire there, because Nick Paxton did get a good body check in the way there. Nick Paxton was in the wrong weight division for that fight, I'm afraid. And the umpire, I think, allowed an advantage first of all, but then coming back and saying it's time to have another SACS short corner. As I'm looking at the body language, David Firstfeld taking control. I think he's going to possibly call the ball goes back to him again. You know what short corner people are like when they've scored a goal.
Now SACS have definitely shown that this is their opportunity. This is when they extend their lead, and it was a bit of a slip to the left earlier, but the big drag flick hasn't come out yet. I'm thinking this is the time when it's going to come, but that's where my money is at least.
Trying to see who's on top of the castle here. Another slip just because of the mistrap. Kevin Oosthuizen this time, and the ball eventually ends up at Tane de Blow, who ejected it. He neatly crept down the sideline there, and it landed in front of him. All he had to do is slap it in. You've got to love those goals when you're the ejector, because you don't get much to do except just push the ball in and watch. So when it does come back to you, and you get a free chance to score a goal, it kind of rewards you for all those endless hours you've been pushing the ball to the trappers in all the practices and matches.
I think it's that's Wynberg now 3-0 behind against their host SACS, the dominant team in this game. Wynberg have made a positional switch. They've moved their captain Yasin Moors, who was playing on the right wing, all the way back to the sweeper position. So a little bit of a tactical change from Wynberg.
Just trying to get the ball at the back, and it worked there because they got the ball all the way to the SACS 22, but unfortunately lost possession. Now SACS are back in possession.
That is Yasin Moors. He's an opening batter there for Wynberg's under 15A side, and pulling out the big cover drive on that occasion.
He's getting his cricket season started early.
Yeah. Definitely one for the highlights. The boys are going to have a say about that. But SACS coming back again through the middle.
Good ball through to Quinn Baltimore, who's got control over there. Yeah, I think the two sports do go hand in hand. A lot of hockey players play cricket and vice versa. Similar kind of ball coming at you that you've got to control with either a bat or a... And so we find a lot of these hockey players end up on the cricket field in a month's time when the cricket season starts.
I do know when we do get to cricket season, we're basically asking the hockey guys, can you stop reverse sweeping? Because that's the only shot you want to play. Let's play straight again, you know. So there are benefits and disadvantages to playing this wonderful game when you get back on the cricket field.
No, that is so true. All these hockey players can hit with the back of their sticks, so I'm pretty sure they all want to try it on the cricket field as well.
And it has also the way the game's transformed of how comfortable these young men are turning to their backstick and really using it as a weapon, as a potent attacking force, particularly once they get into that circle. It's basically impossible for the goalkeepers to stop.
No, in the good old days when people played hockey, nobody went to the backstick. In fact, if you came and tackled from that side, you caught a stick and everything and a mouthful of wood. And since the game's opened up to be a forehand and backhand game, it's become a 360 match. Added to that, boys can now pick up the ball as well and bounce it on their stick as they're running forward to give a bit of air to it as well. So it really makes it a lot more exciting. There's no wrong and right side anymore. It's just play the game to a max ability, which we love watching. I
remember last week actually castigating a young man for not getting back on his strong side, and Sam, your under 16A coach, he just called me out on my age at that point and said the game's been revolutionized, sir. So definitely a much quicker game, much more exciting, action-packed format these days.
Yeah, no, it really is, and it's a running game. It's exciting. It's end to end, and that's what you want to see. Not having the game stop the whole time for whistle blowing, and having a little free flow.
I have enjoyed and again might be showing how long I've played this game, but in terms of the free hit and just moving the ball, not having to wait and settle, and that's really, as we saw with SACS's second goal, it just creates so many more opportunities. The defenders are not in position, they don't have time to align the defenses, and definitely a major improvement in the game.
Yeah, of course, hockey being similar in the way they play to football. The hockey players often have this debate about whether football's ever going to try some of these rules out. The quick free hit where somebody could just put the ball down and run with it instead of having the timeout and waiting for the players to retreat the 10 yards. So I'm sure if we did try some of these rules of football, it might make that a bit more goal-scoring opportunities.
Yeah, and also the fact that hockey's done away with the offside rule. That's revolutionized the game completely.
Yes, the year they did that it was unbelievable how many goals were scored. With you suddenly had the chance of players hanging high in the field. The negative of that was you had some forwards who just went and stood on the top of the field and never came back and defended, and thought their job was just to hang around the keeper and keep him company. But nowadays it's end to end, and the amount of running the boys do and the way they get around the field is really impressive.
I mean, if you look at the score lines these days, at whether it's international hockey or provincial hockey, that like a 3-0 deficit, as we even saw last week in the first team game, that's not the end of the game. It's not like in football where a team gets one goal and they park the bus in the Jose Mourinho style for the rest of the day. But really entertaining, it makes for, and that's what people want to see. You want to see goals. You come down to Channel 247 and you want to see the ball in the back of the net like SACS are attempting right now.
No, it is end-to-end stuff. Hockey, you don't get games where the ball doesn't get into the circle a lot. It's just a case of can we finish them. Kevin Oosthuizen are now deciding to go for the big slap across, but not getting through, and any joy from it, ending up in a long corner. Also another change in the game. Long corner has been taken from the 22 line from where the ball went out, instead of the traditional ride in the corner. That rule was changed because if you did get a long corner, you had to go and take a free hit in the furthest corner from the field from where you wanted to be. And of course there was no advantage from that. You ended up in a worse position than you were when you're in the circle. So hockey administrators thinking about that and saying, a better option is like we have now. You'll see on the field, the ball went over the baseline, and you simply take the free hit from the 22 line with that mark, and you get a chance now to again attack the goal.
I do think, particularly as you're sitting at home and you're watching the game on SuperSport Schools, whether it's on your tab or whether it's on your laptop or even on your phone, it has made the game much more attractive for a viewer to watch these days. It really is exciting stuff, and as SACS are showing here in the circle, pushing the ball across the field, it really has become much more of an
SACS are showing here in the circle,
hockey.
pushing the ball across the field.
Pushing the ball across, but nobody on the end of it. I think he'll be a bit upset that nobody got that. And SACS win another ball off the back, just take it in the circle. Just not be able to get anything from these circle entries. Big swing at the ball there. Stick flying all over the place. And I see the umpire awarded this short corner for SACS for the Wynberg player, not hitting the ball, but rather connecting David Firstfeld.
That's possibly where my old school comes out again, as in a guy on his back stick just looking for the big clearance and not making the correct contact and giving away a short corner and putting his team possibly in a much more dangerous position now.
Yeah, no, we got a short corner now for SACS. Tainted Blow lining up. Again, they seem to have ended up on the slip flick twice now. Seems to be their go-to. Let's see if they've actually got the drag flicker. They do have 2 drag flickers. All coming out and mistrapped by Nick Nator, unfortunately. And I think the umpire has just blown for half-time, if I'm correct.
That is the end of the first half. SACS very, very dominant in that first half. The home team leading by 3-0, and Wynberg, the visitors, having it all to do for the remainder of this match. 25 minutes left, and Wynberg really going to have a stern chat at the halftime break. We'll see you in a few minutes for the second half. We're back here for the second half between Wynberg and SACS. It's the under-16Bs of Wynberg up against the under-15As of SACS who have dominated this encounter. They're leading by 3-0 at the moment, and Wynberg have it all to do.
And hopefully a couple of them go in and get your confidence up.
That's a big slap across there by Benny Hansen. Wynberg trying to make a circle entry.
Just camping here. They'd really want to have some kind of entry here just to make a difference. Otherwise, and as we say, that SACS come away. Dan Stensländer down the field, throwing the through ball to Matthew Jones, who's in a really good position for a slip. Tries to go around the keeper. I'm not sure if that was the best option. Tane de Blow comes in.
That's a good save, double save by the Wynberg keeper. He went low to his right and then he recovered for the rebound, getting the ball to safety, and Wynberg breathed another big sigh of relief.
Yeah, there was a good chance SACS will be ruining that. Yeah, so again, just had a great chance there to get in, and I think maybe Matthew Jones might have had to cross the ball a bit earlier to whoever's on the far post. I think it might have been Quinn Baltimore, but he tried to go around the keeper, but Wynberg were not having any of that.
Iska Milding coming away with the ball for Wynberg.
Lots of space there, cheapers.
It seems that the game's being played in 2/3 of the field, and the middle's actually just been left open.
There are some coaches around the world that actually coach like that. They call it 5 up and 5 down. You keep 5 players in your own 22 basically to defend, and the other 5 go chasing around the field, and you end up with what we call a tennis match where the ball just ends up going from 22 to 22. It might be exciting from the outside, but really it actually gets a bit monotonous of the ball going backwards and forwards with no real circle entries. We don't see much of that, but I do know some coaches who love to play the 5 and 5, especially when you're nervous against a team with a strong counter-attack and very fast runners. You don't want to have all your team upfield and then suddenly you've got to chase back down the field for the counter-attack. Wynberg just need a circle entry here to get themselves on the front foot.
Mistake there by the Wynberg captain, and SACS have another opportunity just to relieve the pressure, showing a bit of calmness here at the back, playing a few small passes at the back, but not finding the left half on that occasion.
Yeah, David Firstfeld just missing the ball. I can actually, from where I'm sitting here, his dad, Stephen Firstfeld, groaning that his son missed the ball there.
Unfortunately, not able to attend these games. Parents at the moment, we're still very much under level 3 lockdown, and that's why you're watching it on Super Sports Schools, whether it's channel 247 or on YouTube. This is the only place to be on your Friday night.
It's becoming a regular occurrence, which is fantastic, and it's so good to chat to the parents on the weekend, and they speak as if they've been right next to the field, having seen everything. Not just that, actually had somebody tell them who the players are and what they're doing. Suddenly becoming very good experts in the game.
I do remember that's a circle entry by SACS, but not being able to take advantage. Or
it looks like the umpire's blown that for lifted. SACS actually ran away from that, thinking they didn't get the blow, but the umpire adjudicating that it's lifted into the player.
The umpire, obviously a Wynberg schoolboy, will get a few words from his mates on Monday just to discuss that little call.
It's also a very strong tradition of these fixtures where you have a home and away umpire up until the first team. The first team match, the Western Province Umpires Union send umpires to actually come and do the umpiring, because those umpires need to get umpiring time and they're trying to climb the ranks. But in these games you always get one, in this case one SACS umpire and one Wynberg umpire, and also they end up being young umpires trying to learn the trade. SACS going for an adventure zigzag. David Firstfeld just not getting the pass off there. The zigzag normally goes back to the middle and somebody in the P spot has a flick, and they just couldn't execute that.
Sax coming back on the attack. Under defender showing quite lots of calmness there in a very tense moment, but he manages to get the ball out, and Wynberg looks to attack via the centre through Isa Hamildin.
I think the player was calm, but the coach was having a nervous breakdown with his own player fitting with the ball near his own circle there.
Wynberg really need to up the tempo, possibly get a goal within the next 5 minutes if they are going to make a contest of this game. We 5 minutes into the second half and they're still 3 goals behind. It's not impossible, but they do need to get a little bit of momentum, and this could possibly be the circle entry, but unfortunately a little bit error, and SACS have the opportunity to clear their lines again.
Just hit the back of his stick there as he tried to stop it. Nick Paxton getting bounced off the ball again, feeling the full brunt of the Wynberg defences. SACS come away. David Firstfall throwing the long through ball. Tane de Blow getting the cross in. And I think that was Quinn Baltimore who just missed the ball that came across. And the ball runs over the baseline harmlessly for a 16. Teams normally, when the ball's in this corner of the field, send all their players forward to try and press it in here. So SACS will be sending players forward, trying to keep Wynberg in this corner, pressing them as hard as they can. And they always say the left half job is the world's worst nightmare when you see the opposition come steaming down on you, because you know that every one of them wants to get the ball off you. And getting the ball out becomes really tricky. A lot of left halves are famously known for their big overheads, just to relieve some pressure if they can.
We haven't seen anybody go the aerial route yet in this match. We saw quite a bit of it last week, but that's a chance for SACS, and the ball dribbles over the line.
I think there was no contact by any SACS players inside the D there, but it looks like it hit a Wynberg foot, and so I think there should be a PC coming here. I think this is interesting. The umpire's actually asking the players what they did, but I think Matthew Jones has been hopeful there. We didn't see him get an edge on it. Of course, he'll claim it no matter what. We'll chat him after the game and watch the slow motion replay. But everybody agreeing that it's going to be a PC, and that's a good camaraderie amongst the teams as well. The final outcome just being just keep it playing and get the game going.
Got to love the white headband from the young SACS man here.
Tane de Blow. Getting the ball out. Daniel Stenslen's on the drag flick. He's not usually known for his drag flick, so maybe he's pushed aside the other guys and said, "You're not doing a good job, give it to me." But straight at the Wynberg keeper, and he clears it.
I think the Wynberg keeper's actually had a decent game here. He's kept his side in the contest. There's been, SACS have had a few more opportunities to extend their lead, but every time, as we see again, he comes out and he makes another good save just to keep the deficit intact.
So you'll know that the keeper's first job is to get in the way, and he's doing that very well. And no matter what happens, if the keeper's in the way, you can't score a goal. And we can see from this, nothing's going through. SACS mounts another attack. Paxton on the backhand, but I think he might have caught the defender's stick. No, sorry, Quinn Baltimore on the backhand, but missing the ball and hitting the defender's stick, and therefore the Wynberg team get another chance to get the ball out the back. SACS pressing really higher, trying to block the ball coming out, making Wynberg's life difficult. Wynberg just a little slow on moving the ball as they come loose now, and the ball into space. This is the chance they've been waiting for. Just a loose pass going forward. Maybe in the end of the season when they played more hockey, the players will be fitter and stronger. The forward might have got there, but not today.
SACS starting another attack from all the way from their own half. That's the passing that we want to see. Good linking play here by the boys in white. The circle entry, good stick work.
Tane de Blow to the P spot.
That's a fantastic goal by SACS. It was good interplay all the way from the midfield, finding the young man on the top of the D, and an easy tap in, and SACS extend their lead to 4-0.
That's a Matthew Jones speciality. He ends up there a lot, and he ends up tapping a lot of soft goals and just get in the right place at the right time. In fact, he's a footballer as well, so it might come from his footballing skills that he's learned just to move in the right spaces, be available, and just like last week, he's tapped in another soft goal, and SACS go 4-love up. And Wynberg now have a chance, definitely on the circle. Ball popped loose.
This is Wynberg's second opportunity. They rather made a hash of the first short corner they had. There were lots of indecision, not knowing exactly what they wanted to do. It looks to be a lot simpler here. Benny Hansen, he's going to be the one pushing out.
Frost trying to come out and defend that one. The ball just popping over his stick and hitting him on the toe, and I think he must have been 5 millimeters inside the circle because we have a PC.
That's Yasin Moas. He has the shot, but pushes it wide off the deflection. The Wynberg captain
just couldn't get the clean shot off there.
Was looking for the big wind-up. Was possibly trying to hit it too hard.
The game has become so quick, you just don't have the time to do that anymore. And as you're winding up, going for the one time.
We've seen this Wynberg captain Yasin Moas playing a cover driver earlier, and now he's looking for the backhanded smash at Wimbledon. So pulling out all the shots today, playing all different codes, and unfortunately not able to at least get Wynberg on the score sheet at this moment.
I see Devin Stanton on the sideline. He must be coaching the team today. All the coaches also susceptible to being in isolation for COVID. So the director of hockey stepping in and saying he needs to coach the Wynberg and a 16B team, which is great to see that the big coaches get used all over the place. Devin Stanton, a real big, prominent coach in the Western Province, having done the provincial schools teams. He coaches club hockey as well, director of hockey at Wynberg, and also a product of the Wynberg system, a Wynberg old boy.
I was in Matric when Devin was actually in grade 8, coming through the ranks, and we immediately noticed that this young man had a bit of skill. He had lots of talent early on. It was quite noticeable from a very young age, and it was really good to see him fulfilling that all of that potential.
No, Devin Stanton came out of the era where a whole bunch of really fantastic players emerged. We had Lloyd Norris-Jones around that era as well. We had Red Holcott, Matthew McConaughey. In fact, Lloyd Norris-Jones, Matthew McConaughey claims to have taught him how to hit a backstick. It's a bit disputable, but we've had Red Holcott was also in that generation that came through. That's played. He actually was at the Olympics now with the Dutch ladies team, helping with the coaching. So a real good era that Devin Stanton was just ahead of in that time. And I think Devin was probably also coached by Paul Revington in his time when the era was so strong.
No, Paul Revington definitely had a major influence on the on Wynberg hockey. I remember playing in a few old boys games with him, and as competitive as ever. We actually played the opening game of the Wynberg Astro. That's if I'm giving away my age there. But it was definitely a fun occasion at Wynberg. The excitement when the first AstroTurf was laid down. But that's SACS into the circle once again, looking for that 5th goal, but not on this occasion.
The Tainter Blow, Matt Jones combination didn't work there. They were trying for the same thing again, run into the baseline and slip it back. And SACS back in the edge of the circle, just trying to find a way. And David Firstfelt turning back to Stenslender, who slaps it in for the deflection. And everybody watches the ball go past. I also saw on the sideline, coaching the SACS team, Anton von Longerenberg, who is one of our national keepers. In fact, he's the national indoor keeper at the moment. He's knocking on the door for the outdoor squad as well. A prominent young and upcoming keeper, also a SACS old boy. Fantastic player. He's the Western Province men's keeper as well, obviously. And like all old boys, when they come back and they coach the school, there's a passion they bring for their alumni and their alma mater, which they want to bring back. And so it's good to see 2 old boys coaching their teams over here in whatever format it is.
No, that is fantastic news. It just keeps the culture of the hockey, at both schools really strong. And having witnessed the South African side at the Olympics, much lower ranked than the opposition, but being able to compete against teams like Germany, beating the 4th ranked side, drawing with Canada, and really giving teams like even the Great Britain a real run for their money in the opening game, just shows what potential there is when, particularly with people who love the game, and it's not a sport where you're going to make much money in. It's more it's a passion. It's basically you giving up your own time. And Pierre, you can attest to that. You know how much hours you spend away from your home for this game. So with not much benefit other than seeing these young men excel.
No, it is a sport of passion, unfortunately. But the real nice thing is the school's investing in astros to keep the sport going. There's so many hockey astros in South Africa that are being used not just for boys hockey, for boys and girls hockey. So it really is a sport played across both genders, and with the schools playing so much hockey, the end result is always going to be that we're going to have a strong national side going to these type of tournaments. It's just a case of putting it together in the long run and having a plan in action. Like you said, the sport is not professional, so often the players have to find their own way around the world. As we see SACS enter the circle there, Stenselander just pushing the ball onto the foot and earning themselves a short corner with about 8 minutes to go in this match. SACS lining up here. I see David Firstfeld calling the shots again. Stenslander's had his drag flick and didn't succeed. We'll see who's next to line up here. I see David Firstfeld putting himself in the prominent position. Kevin Oosthuizen on the slip flick, just in case they need him there. And Tander Blow is going to inject this. Possibly run around the back and maybe get another quick shot at goal like he did last time.
And that's the 5th goal for SACS from the short corner.
The ball coming out, being drag flicked in, not a very strong drag flick. Maybe the lack of pace caught the keeper off guard there, but the ball popping loose and Kevin Oosthuizen being on hand just on the far post to just help it on its way to make sure that he gets his name on the scorecard. That is the funny thing about short corners. You can have the world's fastest drag flicker scoring goals, and you can just as easily score a goal on a very soft drag flick that caused a bit of confusion in the goal mouth and somebody taps it in. Wynberg just struggling to get inside the SACS circle here. Every time they've come down the field, they've just got to the 22 and then got tackled and broken down. As we see them have another chance to get in. Ball gets snapped across.
That's Benny Hansen. He picks up the ball, sends it back, but he doesn't find his captain, Yasin Moors. And SACS have the opportunity to launch another attack, and they just not able to pick up the pass and launch another counter attack. But it's all been SACS here this afternoon in this under 15A game. The home side dominating the contest, leading by 5-0.
Yeah, as this game winds down near the end here, Wynberg would be desperate to get something on the scoreboard. Just get some reward for all the effort they put in. As the Wynberg boys just make a mistake again, they just can't get themselves at the SACS circle. Put a lull in the game while we try and find the ball. Stuck behind the goals. SACS build up from the back.
That just shows the confidence that SACS have from being 5-0 up a ball straight across the goal. I know I was a goalkeeper. I didn't enjoy those passes being played across me.
I think the goalkeeper actually had to jump out the way there.
I think that really does show the confidence that you have from being 5-0 up. You can take a few risks and just wanting to show off a little bit there on that occasion.
Yes. Frost just pushing forward there, but can't find Firstfeld on the side. As Paxton takes the free hit again, he's been bumped around a couple of times today, but he's still fighting strong. David Firstfeld trying to get himself through, but being a little bit too boisterous, bumping over his Wynberg counterparts and getting the whistle against him.
I think this Wynberg side really would like to get on the score sheet, just something to show for their efforts. Not having made the trip all the way here and going goalless. You do know when you play your rivals, you at least want something to take back home. And at the moment, they don't have much to show for their efforts. But any Wynberg side will fight till the very end, that's for sure. And they won't just throw in the towel. SACS coming forward again. Good skill work, circle entry, and they've forced the short corner once again. We've seen how dangerous they can be, and it could be half a dozen.
Nick Paxton just putting the ball back sweetly there instead of going for the shot himself, being unselfish and getting the short corner, saying to his short corner team, what can happen here? Again, the big debate about who's going to take this. Normally this part of the game they start getting a little bit adventurous. And I think Frosty just made the call that he wanted on the side. He who shouts loudest gets the final say. Yeah, we got Tane de Blow lining the ball up again. He's ejected quite a couple today. A SACS lineup for the next one. As we see the ball being trapped, David Firstfeld with the zigzag, trying to find Paxton. He slaps it into the keeper. And another great save that comes away. Wynberg might have a chance with numbers down the field if they can just find the long through ball. There it goes. Just intercepted, but they've won it back. A bit of hacking going on there, but Wynberg get the play, but SACS have now got themselves way back into their 22 to help defend it. They had a chance there to get the through ball, and I think it was Kevin Ersthuizen who just got a stick in the way to block it from going through. It might have been Nick Natard. I can hear Devin Stanton in the background shouting to his team, stay in their half, get some reward for this. If they could just get a circle entry. Holding the ball out wide. And then the cross coming across, but over the baseline, unfortunately, for the 16. As we enter the last 4 minutes of this match, the SACS under 15 team will be happy with the way they've gone through it. Wynberg just going to be a bit frustrated that they couldn't get anything from it. And hopefully in the last 4 minutes they can just get a bit of pressure. As I said that, Wynberg coming away with the ball in the circle with a bit of pressure on the defense. SACS maybe been a little bit guilty of taking too much time in their own circle, passing the ball around.
SACS coming down the left again. We're down to the last 2.5 minutes in this encounter. It's been a dominant performance by the boys in white, and they're not finished yet. They're looking for another one into the circle, but it goes just wide on that occasion. The Wynberg goalkeeper definitely doesn't deserve looking up at that scoreline of 5-0. He's been arguably the best player on the day. He's really kept the scoreline down, put in some really good saves for the visitors.
SACS just tried to have one more circle entry chance here, getting the ball down the field. But couldn't get in the circle, and Wynberg come away, smashing the ball down the field, just trying to release some pressure. And guess what? Finding their long range forward. Can he control this? It's a 2v2 going into the circle. Yeah, he's in. Can he get some reward? There was a tackle by Ersthuizen, but he's come away with it, and he's flicked it over the falling keeper. What an opportunistic goal. This is a fantastic finish. He looks, sees the keeper go down low, and flicks it over his shoulder.
That is fantastic work by Benny Hansen. He has worked his socks off for that goal. He managed to collect the pass that was thrown into the middle of nowhere. And as I said, Wynberg boys do not give up. Benny Hansen, a fantastic young cricketer, that man. I've seen him play a few exquisite lofted extra cover dives, and he just showed the wrists there once again, lifting it over the goalkeeper, and Wynberg on the scoreboard. A little bit late, unfortunately, for the visitors, but as we've said, not wanting to go home empty-handed, and looks like it's put a spring in their step, and they're coming again towards the SACS goal, finding their mojo in the last minute here at the Newlands Astro.
Looks like Dan Stenzen might have just caught a stick on the follow-through there. But what a composed finish as we come to the end of the match. SACS 5-1 up.
A really dominant display by the boys in white. I think they'd have a little bit of a bigger smile than that in this game. A really tough encounter for the visitors. Wynberg winning, Wynberg at least going down by 5-1 in this encounter. And SACS have shown their class today. They've won the under-14 game. Was it 8-1? And now the under-15A is going up 5-1. But Wynberg just managing to get a goal right at the death. And it is all about the home team thus far. We will hope to see you a little bit later for the remaining games. The under-16A, that's the big one that we're looking forward to in a few moments' time.